So we have a new Morbius trailer. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Number one, I just want to tell you guys that the Batman is gonna, like, basically I saw it. There will be a review up for that on Thursday night because I want to see it again and see if my thoughts are as pure and precise as possible, because I don't want to overhype it or underhype it. I want to make sure it's the best review I can possibly give. So yes, no early review for that one. Also, I just want to let you guys know that I will be moving pretty soon. So I'm gonna be releasing a couple of videos after that review of the Batman, and it's gonna be Batman related videos. And then after that, I'm gonna be going for about 3 or 4 weeks, depending on that, because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to upload again, but I'll try to upload again to my earliest convenience. So a lot going on, so let's just go ahead and talk about Morbius. So I don't want to get a bunch of hate for this, but I adored the first trailer. The second trailer had a couple of concerns of mine, but then I was still down for it. This trailer is like the third strike for me. There's a couple of things in this trailer that are a bit concerning. I will talk about that. For one, I think superhero fatigue is starting to become a thing, because the more superhero news I hear for a lot of other stuff, the less excited I am for a lot of superhero stuff. I mean, clearly this is a very different Marvel movie that might be getting into some darker themes and thematic elements, which I appreciate. That's one thing that I'm really excited for, is seeing a darker Marvel movie. We haven't seen one of those in a while. And to see one that kind of just wants to kind of get into the idea of mysticism and darker elements such as vampires and the living dead, or just, you know, darker elements and thematic elements that aren't particularly touched on in Marvel movies, especially in more recent years. A lot of stuff has mostly become more lighthearted if you really look at some stuff. I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home, say what you will about that, and there were consequences for Peter Parker, and there were constant things that happened to him in that movie, but for the most part, it still kept a lot of a fun aspect to it. And there were some darker themes and undertones, but for the most part, on surface level, you can't tell a lot of that. But here, you can definitely tell they're trying to go in a different direction with this Morbius character, mostly popularized by Spider-Man, so obviously they have some Spider-Man characters in there, which is my biggest concern for this, because I feel like with the Vulture being in there, which, again, that's confusing regarding what their whole multiverse stuff happening is going on there. I just don't understand what's going on.
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
And also, I feel like with what they did with Venom, which, again, I wasn't super proud of what they did with Venom in the first Venom movie, but Let There Be Carnage I actually thought was a lot of fun. I never thought it was perfect. I just thought it was a fun popcorn flick that you could just flick on if you just want to watch something that's stupid and just, you know, want to just have a little bit of fun seeing these CG creatures beat the crap out of each other. But now, with this one, they have a character that is much darker and a lot of elements that could potentially work out if they do it properly. And with the idea of this being connected to a lot of multiverse stuff and a lot of other stuff regarding Spider-Man. And there are a couple of jokes in here and a couple of elements that I kind of noticed have me slightly concerned, because I'm like, all right, well, here we go again. I mean, I'm not hating on it. Maybe I might go in it and think it's okay and think it's a pretty solid film. But for the most part, my hype level for this one has really come down. I mean, I love Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I mean, that was the best part of Homecoming. I mean, Homecoming, I hated Homecoming. But here, he's not really necessary. It feels like Sony's trying to do exactly what they did before and set up other franchises and elements. However, I will be talking about a couple more positives for you guys if you guys want to hear more positives, because I'm touching on a lot of negatives. One, the visuals, for a fact, I actually think are really cool. Like, for example, there are some horror movie aspects to that I really like seeing Morbius tear through this whole SWAT team like that, like a horror movie. That works very well for me. I really like that a lot. Also, I love the senses that he uses for his echolocation and his speed. It seems very, I hate to say it, but it seems kind of Nightcrawler-ish. And even though that shouldn't work for a character like Morbius, it does. and it adds a bit more color to a film that looks particularly like it's gonna have a darker color tone. Jared Leto, I mean, he wasn't really given as much of a shot as being the Joker, but here they look like they're gonna be giving him a bit more of a shot, and I'm excited to see what he does with Morbius because, yeah, I mean, he does look more like a vampire than a clown. But those are just my thoughts on the Morbius trailer. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to argue with me either. I mean, we can all have a friendly discussion in the comments, right? Yeah, right. Like, share, and subscribe today to join the Idealization.